Hey guys, it's me, Seb, and Universe of the BluTubers with my two fine gentlemen here. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves really quickly?
Brian Mendoza, a.k.a. Brian. I'm just kidding, really.
And Tony, aka 22 Tiger Dude.
Hey, my fine gentlemen, how are you doing? It's been definitely a long time since we've done one of these, but we've come together because we just had a wonderful Skype session this evening, and we decided to unveil a new project. So, Tony, why don't you give a brief description of what it is, and then I'll unveil the title of it. So, take it away, Tony.
Sounds good, Seb. Okay, you guys. So if you guys haven't been following this channel so far, all we've been doing is on this day. But now we're gonna do other segments other than just on this day. We're gonna do a segment where we talk about our most overrated movies, underrated movies, and the piece of shit movies, the bottom of the barrel, the 0 out of 5. And that's really all you have to know about this project we're going to do here on Universe of the BluTubers.
Yes, that's perfectly put. And we're calling this new series Over, Under, and In the Sewer. Basically, overrated movies, underrated movies, and just garbage, complete garbage. And we thought it would be a nice change of pace. And I know there are often discussions about people's, favorite movies, their least favorite movies, movies that they feel should get more attention. So we thought, we'd put this together either in groups like right now, or we'll do it individually like on this day. But a brief introduction and just give one example from each for this introduction. So Tony, what is an overrated movie in your opinion, just to kick it off?
In my opinion, overrated movie is a movie that you can either hate or like or find okay on a film that people think is an absolute masterpiece. Like people, they just love the hell out of this movie, but when you yourself watch the movie, you're all like, yeah, that's not as good as people make it out to be. That's my definition of an overrated movie.
And what is a movie in your opinion that you would say is overrated, perhaps?
For those watching, please do not hate me because films are subjective, but I find the Dread 2012 film to be so overrated. I hated the movie, actually, and that's cool for those that love it. That's cool for those that have a ton of fun. That's awesome. But me, I could not get into the movie. I thought the storyline was terrible. 90% of the action scenes felt like they were in slow-mo. It was nothing but slow-mo, slow-mo, slow-mo. The character development was weak. I hated the character Mama, whatever her name was. Yeah, and overall, it was just not a very well put together film. I loved Carl Urban as Dredd. He was a great Dredd, but everything else about the movie, I seriously could not stand watching, and by the time I was done watching the movie, I had to rest my eyes because of what I just watched, in my opinion.
All right, and that's a really good point that Tony's bringing up before I go into my overrated movie, is that, guys, look, on this channel, we're giving our personal opinions on movies, right? We are allowed to like movies. We are allowed to hate movies, and we're going to give you guys reasons for why we believe these things. We like it when people give their reasons why they agree with us or why they don't agree with us, but what is absolutely not okay is if you call someone stupid or you insult them or just be horrible to them because of them liking a movie or not liking. That's not okay, and we just want to have a really nice community here where we discuss things, not attack things, and I've seen this happen way too much, so these are our opinions, and we're going to tell you to the best of our ability why we think that. So, going on to my overrated movie, a movie which I actually did not like that much, and I think is completely overrated, of course, in my opinion, is Inception. I think the movie is too pretentious for its own good. It has some great elements like cinematography and visual effects, but I just feel like Christopher Nolan was making a complicated film for the sake of being complicated. I just thought it was kind of just noisy and just not. I didn't quite. I understood it, but I just get it. It was not a philosophical movie, in my opinion. So that's an overrated movie for me. And Brian, why don't you give an example of an overrated movie in your opinion?
Well, I saw this movie on my birthday. That's the Lego movie. Uh, I liked it for what it was. I had fun with it, but after a while, like watching it like second and third time, I just really didn't like it. Uh, I think it's overrated. I respect people's opinions if they liked it. Well, I got a lot of praise, but I just didn't really like it after a while. But that's me.
All right, so that's overrated. Now I'm just going to give you guys a definition of underrated movies. So an underrated movie is a movie that we personally enjoy a lot, that either people didn't quite know was out, haven't seen, or people in general just didn't quite like the movie that much. So for me, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, this movie got riffed on a lot. A lot of people hated it. It didn't make Sony that much money, but in my opinion, I thought it was a fantastic Spider-Man movie. I just really liked the tone of it. I felt like Andrew Garfield really grasped Spider-Man. He was the essence of Spider-Man, and you really felt like he was coming out of the comic page. You really felt like, Peter was trying to balance his regular life with finding these different villains, and that he's just a guy, and he gets swamped by so many villains. There are people that are going to be out to get him, and I just thought he was absolutely great. I've seen it 2 or 3 times already, and I've enjoyed it every single time. So for me, completely underrated movie. Ryan, why don't you give an underrated movie in your opinion?
This is one of my favorite action movie series, one of my favorite action movies of all time, Lethal Weapon. But I'm going to be talking about Lethal Weapon 3. Lethal Weapon 3, I gotta say, very underrated. I don't know if anyone, guessing some people hate it, pretty sure some people loved it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well made sequel to the second one. The second one, fantastic. Third one, really loved it. I won't really spoil too much what it's about. I know, but yeah, that's my pick.
All right, and Tony, why don't you cap it off with a movie that you feel is really underrated?
Well, there's definitely play movies I find underrated, but there is one movie in particular I do want to bring up because, hint, hint, yep, you guys already probably guessed it by now, it's Cars 2. Now, I know Cars 2, from critics it wasn't really bad, it was just mixed, but the audiences seem to have more hate rather than the critics, and yes, I understand. Cars 2 is not the masterpiece of Pixar. It's not one of my favorite Pixar films per se. But I really appreciate what Pixar did with this film because they made a fun popcorn flick, and I liked how it had the whole spy theme to it, and just how they played out was nice. And of course, I loved how the action sequences were choreographed. I thought it looked stunning. And it was just a very fun film. Like, yeah, I can understand someone saying, well, that was an okay movie. But for people to say this is one of the most piece of garbage animated movies ever, I have to totally disagree with that. But that's the beauty of having opinions, you guys. We could all disagree and agree. We could agree to disagree. But in my opinion, Cars 2 is really underrated. I really don't think it deserves the hate. I really like Cars 2, and yeah, that's my pick for underrated.
All right, so we're going to go to our last section, and it's in the sewer. So, Brian, why don't you give the definition for what we mean by in the sewer? Brian, take it away.
Oh yeah, movies we hate are just bad.
So, since you were the one to give the description, tell us a movie that for you just a shitty movie that should be left in the sewer.
The one that ends up in the toilet. Alien Resurrection is one of the worst sci-fi films I have ever seen. Oh god. It's written by Joss Whedon, who did Firefly, Serenity, Avengers, and the upcoming Age of Ultron. I think that's enough. I don't want to talk about it.
I haven't heard very good things about that movie, but I personally have never seen the Alien films, but I've seen enough reviews that I pretty much know the first two Alien films, the third one and fourth one not that much. But yeah, for me, God, there's so many movies, but I'm gonna actually pick two. I'm doing a package on this one, and that's gonna be M. Night Shyamalan's After Earth and The Last Airbender. I don't. I mean, honestly, I don't know what more I can say. That these are just terrible movies. You know, The Last Airbender, just terrible acting, terrible scripting, terrible visual effects, terrible continuity, terrible pacing, and it pretty much shit upon most people's childhood. So there's that. And After Earth is just Will Smith's way of getting Jaden to become a famous movie star by having M. Night Shyamalan direct a movie that just makes no sense. It's terrible. And the sad thing is, you know, Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense are just great movies, and the fact that he's fallen so low is bad. And the fact that people still watch these shitty movies is even worse. That's just my opinion. I think these are just absolutely repugnant movies that should probably just be flushed down the toilet. Anyway, that's just me. And lastly, Tony, a movie that you feel should be just burned and left in the sewage pipes.
Oh yes, left in the sewer. I definitely could think of a few, but there's one I'm gonna pick. And before I do, I just want to say, 0 out of 4 star ratings are rare for me. I could give a horrible movie a half, or a 1, or a 1.5. But zeros are rare. And if you guys follow me on my channel, 22tigerdude, you know exactly what it is. I'm going to have to pick it, because you know what? This movie deserves to be known for the piece of shit it is. That's my boy. Or as I would like to call it, that should be in the sewer. This movie should have never existed. And look, I'm just going to be straight up honest with everyone. I know people have an opinion with Adam Sandler nowadays not being good. I actually do like Adam Sandler. I like the Grown Ups movies. I do find, well, I found Blended really good, and I actually have Blended right there behind me. So I do still enjoy Adam Sandler, but That's My Boy has got to be the worst piece of living fucking garbage I have seen from Adam Sandler. What an excuse. You have a talented cast. You got James Caan in this movie. Andy Samberg, Leighton Meester. What the hell are all of these actors doing in this movie? It's just not right. And I have no problem with the movie being vulgar and raunchy. You know, some of my favorite R-rated movies are 21 Jump Street, Ted. I adore those movies. There's definitely plenty I could think of, but with That's My Boy, it was too far-fetched with the crude humor, and it was so repulsive that I just had to pull my eyeballs out. In my opinion, I seriously don't understand how anyone could laugh at this stuff, because it feels so lazy. It's crude after crude after crude for 2 hours of pure fucking nonsense. I hate this movie with a burning passion. This definitely deserves to be in the sewer. Not one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my whole entire life. My whole life of living here on planet Earth. It should have never been existed. Adam Sandler, why the fuck would you agree to do shit like this? That's
Ooh.
it. So yeah, there you go. That's My Boy in the sewer. Fuck this movie.
So yeah, that's just a taste of what we're gonna do. So basically, in each episode, we're not gonna do an over, under, and in the sewer. But in each episode, we're just gonna pick one movie from each category, which we're gonna flesh out even more, really explain why. But we just wanted to give you a taste of what was coming, something different. Even though you only saw me, Brian, and Tony, we're gonna have James and Paul collaborate, and hopefully soon a new member is going to be joining us. We're not going to reveal who it is just yet.
It's Batman. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, of course. We got Batman. But yeah, we're gonna reveal him soon. This is a taste of what's to come. I hope you guys like it, and please, if you guys have any suggestions for movies that we could watch, which you felt was underrated, we'll give it a consideration and see if it fits into one of those categories. Anyway, it's been me, Seb, and my two colleagues.
Braid
22 Tiger Dude.
and Braid.
All right, it's been nice chatting with you, gentlemen, and till next time.
Tiger Power.